First at 6, the St. Louis sheriff is locked up. A federal judge issued the order this afternoon accusing Sheriff Alfred Montgomery of committing crimes while awaiting trial on federal charges for violating civil rights.
Montgomery's attorneys say their client is sitting in jail despite no evidence he actually committed these crimes. First Alert 4 investigator David Amilati breaks down what happened in court today.
The sheriff should not be behind bars. That is not fair to the voters that a judge put him behind bars. That's why we're appealing it. We should be able to actually present evidence that we believe will ultimately release him.
St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery's legal team vowing a swift response after a federal judge ruled to place the 28-year-old elected figure in the custody of the U.S. Marshals.
Since when do you have a defense lawyer begging to put on evidence of actual innocence in a federal criminal courtroom and a prosecutor saying, I don't want to hear evidence of actual innocence? That's not justice.
The defense says it sets a bad precedent and leads to safety concerns.
I cannot be more clear. How wrong is it that somebody who did not commit a crime is now behind bars while he awaits trial?
The federal judge opting to revoke bond because he says there isn't a way to guarantee Montgomery does not violate bond again. In court Tuesday, it was revealed once placed on bond, the sheriff was combative and not transparent about how many guns he possessed, which he was required to turn over to pretrial services. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Montgomery also used a burner phone to make calls naming witnesses, as revealed in this excerpt from the September 5th recording, where Montgomery says, quote, "Witnesses gotta go. Witnesses definitely gotta go. I don't have to take this expletive. I'm the expletive sheriff. You work for the pleasure of me. I brought you in this expletive. I will move you out of this expletive."
Is he going to be on a Zoom call from his cell? How does that work?
If that ever becomes necessary, but at the moment, I don't see where that becomes necessary.
Retired Judge David Mason tells First Alert 4 Colonel Yosef Yasharallah will lead daily operations as interim sheriff.
He was my bailiff for 6 or 7 years and was known in the court system as the best in the system. He really knows what courthouse security means and how to maintain it. And I have absolute confidence in his ability to run the show.
It was revealed in court this week Yasharallah is a close friend of Montgomery and a member of the Employee Advisory Board connected to 2 of the new felony charges regarding witness tampering and retaliation. Local and state leaders reacting to Montgomery landing behind bars. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer says the saga is absurd and says, "I urge Sheriff Montgomery to do what's right for the city and resign his office. Should he continue to only prioritize serving himself, I hope the court will move quickly to remove him." Attorney General Catherine Hanaway, who is seeking to oust Montgomery with a quo warranto case, tells First Alert 4 investigates it's impossible to do your job from behind bars. Montgomery should resign immediately. But Mason says they get no say if a replacement is needed.
Absolutely not. That would be the highest illegality. If anybody would have any authority after an actual removal, say in the quo warranto, Governor Kehoe would be the one to make the decision.
David Amilati, First Alert 4.
The sheriff is in the U.S. Marshals custody. It's unclear where he will be held exactly, but we do know he will be held indefinitely until trial. His legal team says they will file an appeal to a district judge ASAP.